I think social change matters very much to the students at Mulberry School for Girls.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
They're very interested in exploring social dynamics and what is the potential, what's the vision for the future. And so exploring how social change happens and issues about social justice is important.
Zoom! 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 Zoom!
Mulberry's 1,400 girls and their guests are about to celebrate International Women's Day on the theme of equal pay.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here again. I came here in the autumn and it's wonderful to see so many of you.
I think for young women, there are lots of questions about gender equality still. There are lots of questions about equal pay still.
Struggle for pay between men and women to be equal continues. Because did you know that for every pound that your brother will earn, you are likely to earn only 82.9 pence? That is...
We've taken the theme of equal pay this year for the whole year because it's a very complex issue. Yes, there is an Equal Pay Act now, but yet there is still a pay gap. And what are the issues about that for society? Why is it that that exists? And the answers to those questions are not simple.
Let's move to a factory in East London. These young women, some as young as 12, work in treacherous conditions every day in the manufacture of matches in the Bryanton May factory.
This has to stop!
These young women organised the first ever strike staged by women in the UK. But the fight for equal pay and equal status doesn't end there.
Three weeks earlier, a group of Year 12s sets out on a research trip with the Equal Pay Project coordinator, Shanaz Begum.
I'm an ex-pupil of Mulberry School and I've been employed by Mulberry School for this year. This is a year-long project to enhance self-expression, creativity and leadership roles within our students.
The girls are visiting the Women's Library, an archive of women's history that's part of London Metropolitan University.
This is really interesting, I think. Women demand equal pay for equal work, and it's a mass meeting. June the 10th. Honesty is the best policy. Give women equal pay now. So all the different ways of trying...
We're using inspiration from the Equal Pay archives in order to raise awareness of such struggles that ordinary women went through in order for women's rights.
And here is this organisation of women civil servants, and they fought a lot to ask for equal pay. They had an issue where if a woman got married, she had to leave.
Men, if they got married, they wouldn't have to leave their job. So, like, why should the women?
Yeah.
That's like, gosh, man.
Just out of curiosity, would you guys be wearing badges like this? Equal pay for equal work?
Yeah.
You'd wear it? Yeah. Okay.
Working on this project, I've discovered loads of new things. I mean, I always knew there was economic injustices between men and women, but I think once I started this project and I actually looked at the material, I found myself quite angry, actually, at why, why such an inequality exists in the 21st century.
So you've got a little man here, and I suppose he's supposed to be the boss, and he's got books here called, Equal Pay and How to Avoid It. Around the law in 80 ways. So I think...
I didn't know that, for a long time women have been fighting for this, and today when I saw researches and stuff, it kind of shocked me because I didn't really know.
I think, we are a bit sheltered, but in the school, opens our eyes up to, there's so much stuff going on out there. I'm more close to the equal pay fight than I thought.
The philosophy that we've created at the school is to really aim to develop young women's confidence. Part of it is through the curriculum, through what we teach and how we teach.
Thank you very much.
So the way in which students learn in classrooms, the way in which they are encouraged to take on particular roles within groups, in group work, that's one way of developing leadership skills.
Today's lesson's got two levels. We're going to look at newspaper writing but we're also going to really refine our thinking about what good collaboration is like. So the reason you've got a piece of paper each is on your own, I want you to write down one thing that you think is really important in effective group work and collaboration. In terms of the content, it's an English lesson, but also I was focusing on collaboration skills and how they can enhance them and get better at them, and in turn become much more powerful learners. What I want you to do now is crumple that piece of paper up, and I want you to throw it at someone else in a different group. Right, so you have now got some other people's ideas. I want you in your groups now to discuss, do you agree with what you've been given? I want a kind of set of rules on what is good group work.
What? Make sure everyone has a chance to speak and say what they think. Do you agree? Yeah. Encouragement is an important thing.
They have to listen to different people's opinions in a very mature and sensible way.
Sharing ideas. Do you agree with them? Yeah. Do you? Yeah. Do you? Yeah, I do.
Okay. Right, what I want you to do now is your spokesperson is going to give us one thing that's good group work or effective group work.
Making sure everyone gets to speak and have given the point of view.
Sharing ideas and everyone gets to speak.
So, we're going to put this all to the test. This is the task today. In your packs you will find there's a newspaper article, and it's quite topical. It's about inequality in pay. So have a look at the way this newspaper article is structured, and also, how do you respond as you read these articles? You know, you're women, you're going out into the workforce. How do you feel about what you're reading?
The average female executive earns £13,655 less than her male equivalent. Women will have to wait 187 years before they take home pay overtakes men.
Women will have to wait 187 years. So, in other words, I won't see it, you won't see it, your children won't see it, your grandchildren might not see it. And how does that make you feel?
Unless Gordon Brown does something.
Unless Gordon Brown does something about it. They need to appreciate that they can have the skills and the confidence to, in a very sensible, formal way, articulate their opinions and bring about change.
Our group was quite angry at the fact that women are not getting paid as much as men, because I personally think that we work as hard as men and we should get rewarded for that.
We think you shouldn't be judged by your gender, but by the capability of your work.
Fantastic. At the heart of any lesson I plan, how can I make the student as confident as possible? How can I make a girl feel that they are equal to anyone else out there in the workplace? And that's really what it's all about.
Girls, can everyone listen, please? When the men take their hat off to go get the other apron, so you're going to take your hat off and set it on the chair.
The drama the students are rehearsing for International Women's Day takes them deeper into the world of work and leadership.
So, girls, the goal today is that we're going to try to do a full run-through without stopping.
Well, there are many, many different ways of being a leader. We try to offer as many opportunities to explore those different ways as possible within school.
Match girls in bold, 12 to 15 years old. We didn't know what to do, but then Annie Besant, a well-known reporter, spoke against the condition in the sweatshop.
So it's a big moment of realization.
We didn't know we had any rights, you see.
The thing that I've learnt from the girls particularly, and that has been a growing realisation on my part, is that you can have individual leadership, but the most powerful way to lead social change is collectively.
Same work, same pay.
1968, sewing machinists at Ford's Dagenham factory went on strike for the right to be recognised as skilled workers. Build up.
Same work, same pay. Same work, same pay. Same work, same pay.
Okay, so do you guys want to leave your jackets in my office?
I became aware that there were still people around who had living experience of those things, and I know from the work that I do as a teacher that having living experience, the benefit of hearing directly from people who've been through those campaigns is very, very valuable.
These women made history.
Were you guys best of pals when you were working there as well?
As machinists at Ford Dagenham, they were involved in 2 major strikes over women's pay and grading.
I didn't want to lose a moment where we could give such a rich and valuable resource to the students, where they could actually converse with people who have dedicated a significant part of their lives to this work.
The first Ford women's strike led directly to the Equal Pay Act.
Same work, same pay. Same work, same pay.
They've got their own. It's a massive project. We've been working really hard and rehearsing many hours. They've really stepped up to the challenge. It's been really exciting.
Well, I think you're very brave to stand up and do all these things, because I wouldn't have done it when I was your age.
So girls, when you're ready, you can start the question. I mean, it's not formal.
What were the conditions like in the factory?
It was cold in the winter, freezing cold in the winter, sweltering in the summer. We used to have birds flying about and doing their business wherever. And we used to complain about rain and one thing and another. I've even seen girls sitting there with umbrellas up. Haven't you, Dora? Yeah, and they were really bad conditions.
What inspired you to go on a strike?
We weren't getting the pay the same as the men. We were skilled. When we went there, you had to do a test to prove that you could machine. You'd done an apprenticeship. So we took our skills in there and we wanted paying for them. And that is what we came out for. And we wouldn't go back until we got it.
Who was the one that started the strike?
We all stuck together, every one of us, and said enough's enough, and that's what we want.
You vote on whether you're going to strike or whether you're not going to strike, and that's how strikes happen.
But we got what we came out for.
How does it feel to know that you've changed history?
You don't look at yourself as being that. At the time, it's what you want, what you should be getting, not what you want. It should be rights for women, which we didn't have.
After a time, when you go to things like this, years and years later, and people say, oh, what you did was really good and really great, and you do begin to feel a bit big-headed, really. Sometimes I can't get through the door.
Same pay, same work, same pay. Same work, same pay.
There you go. They loved it.
I will be interested to see at the end of today what else we need to do as we move towards the end of the project in about another 4 months' time. What we intend to do is to write a paper which helps us to evaluate in full the whole programme from start to finish. What makes an effective education for young women in the 21st century? What do 21st century female learners feel that they need to know? And what are the challenges for us as educators of young women at this point in time?
We did so much work.
Oh, I like time to go home.
Watch with Mother.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, years ago.
Watching
it with the little
used to
ones.
love it,
But
didn't
that's
they?
all there was